The growth forecast presented, admittedly, by the OBR to the government, so you have to work with those. You're gifted those, if that's the right word. At no point in the next 4 years is the UK economy expected to grow above 2% then, according to the OBR. Does that not suggest that maybe the government should be doing more to try and stimulate a bit more growth?
Well, look, I think that's partly what today's budget was all about, because one of the reasons why our economy is not growing as quickly as we would like is because of lack of productivity. So the Chancellor particularly talked today about investment in infrastructure and in skills, but also things like housing. But look, of course, there's also Brexit. We are going to be leaving a single market where many of our businesses in this country are used to exporting without any trade barriers and other things. So there's going to be an adjustment, and I think nobody quite knows what that's going to do in terms of forecasts and growth for the next few years, and that includes the OBR, who haven't changed their forecast from March this year.
So with that weakness in growth, is it a bit about Brexit then? Is it about the OBR saying they are going to see some negative impact from Brexit, investment uncertainty, for example, for businesses?
Well, the OBR has said that, and they haven't changed what they're saying today. I mean, I think they forecast a relatively benign Brexit, and assuming we'll get a deal and there'll be potentially a transition. Now, of course, we don't know what's going to happen, but there is also a bigger issue, as I say, about productivity, and that's something that is not new. It's something that we have been facing as a country. In my remarks in the Chamber, I said that a British worker has to work from 9 till 5 to have the same output as a German worker working from 9 till 3. That's a long-standing issue, and I think the Chancellor showed today he is determined to tackle it.
So productivity, a big theme then today. Brexit, a big theme also. Nicky, there's a Brexit fund now, £3 billion being set aside. Is this a bit of a climb down from the Chancellor? He previously had said he didn't want to set aside any money for a hard Brexit. This is to cover all kinds of Brexit eventualities, though, I understand. But is it a climb down at all?
No, I don't think. I think it's a reality check, really, which is that actually people need to understand that Brexit is obviously going to cost the country. It's going to cost individuals as well in terms of investment decisions, employment decisions, economic growth. But there are things that we're going to need to do to prepare for March 2019, regardless of which side of the debate that you're on. So things like new customs investment, new border, new immigration systems, for example. And we all know those things can't be delivered at the last moment. Now, I very much hope that there's a good deal. The Prime Minister talks about a deep and special partnership with Europe, and I think that's got to be what we want. But again, it's going to cost us in terms of the changes.
Has Chancellor Hammond done enough to keep his position? There were some saying ahead of this budget that there have been a number of gaffes recently, and that his position wasn't necessarily all that certain. Do you think it's certain? Has he done enough in this budget to convince those on all sides, and it's a many-sided party, that he should be in that seat in number 11?
Well, firstly, I don't think his position should have been under any threat at all. I think that he's behaved exactly as a sensible Chancellor would, from talking about the realities of Brexit, talking about the need for transition, reflecting the concerns of business that he's been hearing. But I think today's budget was encouraging because it didn't just talk about Brexit. He talked about things that people in the country really care about: housing, investment in the NHS, the national retraining service, more investment in terms of research and development, about being at the forefront of technology. These are all really exciting things, and it's what a Conservative government needs to be doing at the same time as continuing to work to balance the books. And so he captured all of that.
Away from the budget and the excitement of today, one of the big legislative pieces that you're trying to get through in the House behind you right now, Nicky, is the Brexit bill. Do you think that the government is going to actually lose any votes on the Brexit bill, or do you think that enough concessions are being made to you and those in your party who are similarly minded to you that you're not going to stand in the way of the government actually getting through the Brexit bill?
Well, there's two things there. Firstly, we're not going to oppose the bill per se, because actually it is a technical bill that is needed in order to take EU law into UK law. But there are some parts of it, including the fact of having an end date on the 29th of March at 11 p.m, but also the need to secure Parliament having a meaningful final vote on the final deal. And those are amendments that will be debated probably in December. And if the government carries on with the dialogue that it's having with its MPs across the House, then I very much hope that actually there should be no votes that are lost for the government, because there is a sensible compromise and dialogue that happens. But of course, we will have to see.